Absence leaves an imprint on not just our memories, but on the shape of who we become. This is Things Lost in My Absence, a series of conversations with those who grew up with an echo of a missing parent. Through stories, we trace the things lost, the things found, and the quiet resilience of becoming whole, even when no one showed us how. I'm your host, Nomad Jazz, and this is where silence speaks. So today, this is going to be a self-interview, where I am interviewing myself. I hope you guys are ready. I'm probably going to cry, but let's get into this. This is going to be part 1, the mother-shaped hole. Do you remember the first time you asked, "Where is she?" Even if only in your mind? I don't remember the actual first time that I asked about my mother. I do remember asking and inquiring, but I can't, like, the memory behind the first time me asking was, like, it's damn near non-existent. What reasons were you given for her absence, and what reasons did your heart create on its own? I wasn't really given a reason. It was more so of, she left, and she didn't say why, and yeah. I came up and I created many reasons. She got stuck in traffic. She had an important thing that she had to do for work. She had to travel for work, or she just lost her way. And those are the only ones those are the ones that I used to constantly tell myself, or the ones that I can actually remember. What did you miss the most? Not just milestones, but the quiet moments. I've always had a vision of how I've always wanted my relationship with my mom to be. I can, even since I was a little girl, I always wanted the quiet moments where we're just sitting and she's brushing my hair, or we're talking, or we're just watching TV together, or reading a book together, or just being in silence. There were many milestones that I craved for her to be at. Proms, graduations, first dates, orientations, like doctor's appointments. Especially especially when I hit puberty, and like explaining the ins and outs of being a woman and becoming a woman, how to take care of myself, how to all this stuff. I wanted her there for, and not to say that I didn't have people there. There was my godmother, there were my great aunts, some cousins, some of my old friends. Their moms took me under their wing. But in the back of my mind, I always wanted her to be there. I wanted her to be doing those things. Was there ever a time you stopped waiting for her? What did that moment feel like? Yeah. Yeah. I was in the 5th grade. It was the end of 5th grade, and I graduated fifth grade, and I just remember walking, because at the time I was staying with my cousin who lived literally right across the street from my school. I just remember being, oh my God, she's gonna be there. She's gonna be so proud. I graduated fifth grade. She's coming down the street right now as fast as she can. And there was a car coming down the street. And I remember the car turning and not stopping, and my heart just dropping. And in that moment, in that moment, in that moment, I knew that she wasn't coming. I, and I felt so sad. I remember it. I felt so sad. And it was. And I just did well, she's missing out kind of thing. Or, well, I guess she's really not coming. And I really didn't know how to process that emotion right then and there. And I honestly don't even remember what I felt in that moment. But it was just oh wow, like, she's not coming today. And in that moment, I probably felt, if I'm being honest, it was like I don't think she's ever coming now. If she didn't come today, she's not ever coming. How did you fill the space where she should have been? With imagination, with silence, with anger? With imagination. Definitely with imagination. I created so many stories of why she wasn't there that and if I'm being honest, a part of it was escapism too. It's like my mind couldn't and wouldn't, not even just my mind and my heart couldn't and wouldn't accept that she wasn't coming. Part 2. The father who was there, but not really. What was it like growing up with someone in the room, but not really with you? If I'm being honest, like a landmine. I honestly don't remember a lot of my childhood or a lot of quiet moments with my dad because they all seem to just blur together. Like, if you were to ask me one of my happiest moments with him, it would be something as of recent or something that was in my adult years. And if you would ask me to name one in my childhood, I absolutely couldn't. Because I don't remember. It's literally like it all just blurs together. How did his emotional absence shape your sense of being seen, known, or loved? I was already told that I was too much, so I spent a lot of time. If I wasn't with my cousins, I spent a lot of time by myself because I am my father's only child. Um, I was in my room a lot, and so that his emotional absence, along with all the other things that I was going through, I didn't want to be seen. I didn't like being seen. I didn't like being known. And if I'm being honest, in that moment, I would have rather have been adored. Like, and not adored in like a healthy sense, but in a sense of pay me attention because I'm parched for it. Did you ever feel like you were raising yourself even while living under his roof? Yes. Yes. Um, my dad asked family members, other family members, for advice a lot. And that's one thing that while I understand he didn't know what he was doing and there is no playbook or plan book or rule book on parenting, there were some things that I wished he would have just listened to himself with. And I remember saying that when I was younger. Like, I don't know why he just won't listen to himself. Did he ever make you feel like your needs were too much or that you were just too much? There was once. I mean, but if we're being honest, one time is all it takes. Um, when I was younger, my favorite thing to do was to watch Dragon Ball Z with my cousins. Anything pertaining to my cousins, that's where I wanted to be. Especially because in that group, I am the baby, or well, was the baby. And so I remember having a dream about Dragon Ball Z, and I remember like how excited I was waking up because it was like kind of sort of like and looking back I realized exactly what it was, but it was like the characters were talking to actually me, and I really can't explain it in a sense of, it was more so like the characters were talking to me, like uplifting me, showing me love, showing me how to do things, stuff like that. And when I woke up, I was so excited. And I remember telling my dad, I had a dream about Dragon Ball Z, and he said, that's stupid because Dragon Ball Z is a real thing, so how could you have a dream about it? And I don't think that he realized exactly what he said, and I don't even think that he remembered what he said that day. But in that moment, I I got quieter. I got quieter. Part 3. Living in the in-between. How did being caught between two kinds of absence change how you see yourself? Ooh, baby. Because of the sexual assault, I already had a obscured way that I saw myself. And being caught between a physical absence and a emotional and mental absence, it didn't help. It also didn't help that um, family members, especially like cousins around my age, I remember one time I had a panic attack because it was an argument over a remote or changing the channel or something. And this particular cousin said, well, that's why your mother left, because she doesn't love you. So that caused me to like boohoo cry, like break down crying, and when you cry, that's and segue into a whole panic attack. Um, so it didn't help. Like I felt unwanted. I felt unwanted. I felt discarded. I felt forgotten. What did you learn to do on your own that other kids maybe had help with? In the sense of my mother, I had to learn how to nurture myself. I had to learn what my perception of a woman is. For my father, I had to learn how to stand up for myself, how to speak up, how to assert myself. Where did you learn to find comfort? Books, music, art, escape, control. Books, definitely books. And it's probably why I like reading so much. Books and music. Not so much art, but definitely books and music. I could and can still totally lose myself in those two. Books were an escape from my reality. Did you wear your strength like armor, like a mask, like survival? Most definitely, and if I'm being honest, I still do to this day. Were there moments where you felt invisible even to yourself? Yes. Yes. Absolutely yes. Especially because around that well, during my childhood I didn't like myself, so you can't find who you are if you don't like yourself. Part 4, the ripple effect. How did these absences shape how you love now, romantically, platonically, with yourself? I have never seen what a healthy relationship looks like. I have never seen what a healthy friendship looks like. I've never seen how to love yourself. And so at my big age of 34, I am teaching myself how to. Romantically wise, I've seen everything that I don't want. Platonically wise, I've seen everything that I don't want. I've been through friendships where I've given more, and I became friends with people who I wanted to be like, or I wanted to be. Or they didn't really like me, or they weren't really my friend, and in the end, I ended up finding out that they weren't indeed my friend. Are there places in your life now where their absence still shows up uninvited? Yes. Absolutely yes. I still find it hard to speak up for myself. I also still find it extremely hard to ask for help. and to take help and to welcome in help. If something seems too good to be true to me, then I am automatically like, what's going on? This is fake. I'm waiting. It kind of sort of feels like I am in a perpetual state of waiting for the other shoe to drop. Have you ever caught yourself repeating something they did or vowing not to? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. My dad does this thing where he'll allow his victimhood and victim mentality to swallow him whole and make him, and he acts like he's hopeless. And I disliked that about him because I've seen and I've caught myself doing the same thing. So when he does it, I'm more aggressive towards him when he does it, but it's only because I've done it as well. It's something that I am still unlearning how to do. What are you still trying to unlearn from the way you were parented? That I'm too much. That I'm that I'm supposed to just carry everything and break and still carry everything and break and still carry everything and break and not be comfortable asking for help and not being to the point where I am literally having a breakdown and I need help. Part 5, rebuilding, rewriting, reclaiming. What have you built inside yourself that no one else taught you how to build? My safe space. And I'm smiling because I'm hearing Cleo Soul build me up. I've learned how to build myself up, and I'm learning how to build myself up from the ground up. What do you do now to parent yourself, to offer what no one else did? I do things that I used to like to do when I was younger. I remember during a ritual that I did for my inner child and inner child healing, my inner child had asked me, "Can we keep him?" And I said, "No, sweetie, we don't keep people. We keep ourselves." So it's things like that, like reparenting and connecting, not only just reparenting my inner child, but connecting with her, doing things that she likes to do. Whether that's coloring, whether that's drawing, whether that's painting, whether that's eating chicken nuggets and french fries. Not for a week straight, though, because she be getting a little OD. Is forgiveness part of your journey or not something you feel called to offer? No, I do. I Concerning my father, I realized recently that because of his past behaviors that I did hold hatred towards him. And I don't want to because that's my dad. And I love my dad. And concerning my mom, I think the time that I've spent with her and the talks that we have made me realize that not just her, but both my dad too were doing the best that they could with whatever they had at that moment in time. And I also realized that for 34 years, my dad has been there rock solid. And no matter day or night, sleet, snow, rain, heat wave, I know that I can call and he'll be there. So yeah, forgiveness, not even just because of the fact that he can do something for me. It's for the fact of that if I ever needed him, I know for a matter of fact that he would drop everything and be in my corner, and has been in my corner, and has stood in my corner. So I think that he deserves my forgiveness. Will it happen overnight? No. Will it happen overnight from mom? No. It is something that I am actively working on and working through. So yes. What does healing look like for you outside of anyone else's definition? Healing for me looks like this. Bearing my scars and my wounds and my hurts and my pains and crying in front of you guys and speaking it out and saying it out loud and processing it in real time. That's healing for me. It's very, I won't say cathartic, but I will say it's very, it allows me to not only work it out in real time, but also like connect several dots. If you could write a letter to the child version of you, what would the first sentence be? And what would the last be? The first sentence will be, you don't even know how good it's going to get yet. Because you are still stuck in the pain of your past and you can't see your way through. That would be the first sentence. The last sentence would be, you are your safest safe space. You are your first home. Remember to build yourself up before you decide to build others up. Remember to pour into yourself before you pour into others. But most importantly, remember to love on yourself before you love others. And the last question. If you weren't raised by their presence and you weren't defined by their absence, then who are you really? What did you become in the space between? While I may be half of my father and half of my mother, I am a completely different and better model than both of them. There are things that they each both have to unlearn and learn that I have already. There are things that they both have to accept that I have already. I honestly just think that I am a better version of the both of them. Just like I think that whatever child or whatever children that I have will be a better version of me. And with that being said, that ends the interview. Thank you for walking with us through the story, through the silence and the searching, and the scars. Sometimes what's missing tells the truth louder than what's present, and in that truth, there's grief, yes, but also strength. If something in this conversation stirred something in you, let it. That's how we begin to name the ache, to break the pattern, and to tell the story that didn't get told. This has been Things Lost in My Absence. And remember, what we build in the wake of absence can become a legacy all of its own. Thank you. See you next episode.